Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Thursday. It is June 9th. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and this will wrap up our week. I'm not doing any chart lessons on Friday lately. Um, I just need a break. This gets to be, it takes me an hour, hour and a half to do this each day, and so by the time you do this for 5 days a week for years and years, it starts to take a toll on you. So I've cut it back to 4 days a week, and that's the reason, basically, just to give me a break. I've had a couple of people ask me about doing something else on Fridays, maybe not as uh, time consuming as doing the chart lesson, but at this point, I just need those Fridays off. So I come in and trade an hour or two, and then I'm done, and I get out of here. So I doubt I'm going to do anything additional at this point. Maybe once the weather changes and it starts getting dark early, I'm bored, I may go back to doing them, but really I'm trying not to burn myself out. So I'm trying not to do, I need that day off once a week. I need a 3 day break basically. So, but that's why it's not that I don't want to do one or that uh, I need a break from it. So actually you can see before I back out, really tight range for the majority of the day. We had a little two-legged move in the afternoon, and just so people know, people get this. This is a move up. This is a correction. This is another leg up. There's several swings in there, but that's all one move up, and then you've got two legs down. And this is two legs down. You get a little couple of moves, and you get two legs up, and then there's two legs down, and there's multiple swings in there. So the market moves in twos. So just remember that. And when I'm talking about legs, this is a leg up, and really there's a little pullback here and another little leg up, but I would classify that all as one move, and then that all is one move, and then this is another leg up, even though there's smaller legs within there. And that's why price action works on every level, because there's multiple, because there's swings within swings, there's trend. This is a range day. You can see this range going across here, but there are swings, or there's trends within that range, and then there's little ranges within this trend and within that range. So you can go to any level, and this stuff works at that level. So that's the beauty of price action. Once you understand what this chart is telling you, you can read it. You can go to any chart, any market, and you can read it. And it tells you the same thing. It's the same language in any market. So, and this is a range day. Notice how prices, up until here, this is a downtrend. And you get your close outside, a move to a new low, and then from there, look how we're swinging. Look how prices are above the EMA, below, above, below, above, and then it's kind of a trend up again from here. So this is what a range looks like. Prices are flipping back and forth, up and above, and you can trade that both ways. And there was a real clear support down here and a real clear resistance. We had a failed break higher, a failed break lower, and then another failed break lower, and we trapped everybody down here, and they reversed it. Now that's what they love to do. I love days like this because it's so predictable. You just buy the lows and sell the highs of the range until you don't get any more setups. And notice this first move down, I measured that leg, and I moved it over when we started down again, and you get basically maybe missed it by a tick, but that's basically a perfect measured move. And I would have had as a backup, I would have been measuring this main leg here down, and when we started down from this higher high, I would have had that one going too, just in case we went lower, and that would have been your next target. But we didn't get there. It's just a range. Turns out to be a range day. There's a gap on the daily chart when we open right here, because this is where we closed yesterday, and this is where we open at 8:30. So on the daily chart, there's no price action between this opening and where it closed yesterday, and generally prices will try to fill that, and we talk about that a lot, so keep that in mind. But let's back out and talk about the trades, and we'll wrap the week up. Again, it was really a downtrend until we had this break right here and a move to a new low, and we actually made a double bottom, and then we tried to rally out of there. So we were really looking for, if you move this all the way over and look at the hard right side of the chart, this is still pretty much down right in here. So when we got the break, this was the first trade I saw when I came in. This was right after the 7 o'clock hour. And this one's kind of iffy because we already had a break and a new low in place. But notice that high, pullback first entry, pullback second entry. That's two legs down that failed instantly, and that's about a 2-tick bar. So um, you can get a real small risk entry right here, 2 or 3 ticks most, and you figure that we may test that bottom one more time since it's been a pretty strong downtrend all overnight. So, but it's still a little aggressive. So I marked it green. But if you wanted to go short right there and you get just enough, there's actually a few extra ticks in there. And the better short was here. Notice you get a new low, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. Look how bearish that bar is. There's enough room to get out, and it gets it just about the tick. It was tempting to enter here, but by this time you got a double bottom here. You don't have much room. I don't think it would have worked. I think you would have missed it by, I think it would have been a 4 tick failure, and you would have had to watch it go against you. So, and then you might have liked this long here. There's all kind of support across here. Tested that 1, 2, 3, and you actually get it a little tick lower, and then it holds, and you get a fairly bullish bar. If you didn't go long above this one, I don't think I would have a bunch of these matching highs here. I would have probably waited. It's still a little aggressive because it's been all down, and we're having a hard time bouncing out of here. So, but it turns, it goes up. That's tempting to go short, but I wouldn't, because notice that's the first break of that trend line working up through there. And you're probably going to get a retest, and sure enough, you get a retest, and then you get this big bearish bar. That's where you want to go short. And I don't think I would have, it turned back up again. I don't think I would have added on there. Sometimes I like to add on to these trades. I don't think I would have added on to that one. I would have waited to see what happens. I wouldn't have added that much risk to it. But it ends up being a nice trade once it starts going down. And then, of course, you get this failed break lower again, and that's a fairly bullish bar. It's a little piece away from the EMA, but again, you don't have a break there yet. So it's a little bit risky. I did mark it green, and you did get just enough to get out there, but I don't think I would risk that. We're really having a hard time bouncing out of here, and you're finding resistance real strongly across here. So um, there's a second entry short there. Notice the new low, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. But that bar's too bullish, and there's not a whole lot of room there. So just wait. And you definitely can't go short right into that, even though it would have worked. Just wait. And you end up getting, now you got your break. Look at this trend line coming down. Now you got your break. You got really 3 swings down to a new low. Look how bullish that bar is. I like going, it's a fairly big bar, so you might let it break higher and drop a limit order in there. But I like entering right there. It would have come back and filled you maybe a tick back into that bar. But once it started going, that was a nice move. And then you get your break right here, a move to a new high, and look how bearish that bar is. Just go short right there. I mean, it's all textbook today. Every one of these little trends is textbook. You get a break and a new low. Notice you're going up, you get a break there, new high. You're coming down, you get a break, new low. You're going up, you get a break, new high. You're coming down, you get a break, new low. I mean, it's textbook. And if you just follow the rules, you buy the lows after the break, sell the highs after the break and the new high. And it worked flawlessly. This turns out to be another nice trade. You can ride it all the way back down the other side. And you might have moved this down a little lower by now. You're getting more touches down here. But this is really still your key point right across, maybe right across there. But then notice you're headed down. You get your close outside, move to a new low. You could have really gone long here. I didn't mark it. It's a little close. There is a double bottom and a failed break, so it probably should be at least green. At the time, I didn't really like it, but looking at it after the fact, that's a great trade, and I don't see any other way to get in it. And I don't think I would enter here right into the resistance. So if you don't enter there, you miss this whole trade. And it is a failed break lower. Even if you moved it down to here, you can see that. Look at all those touches across there, failed break. There just wasn't a lot of room in there, but you do have your break and new low, so you have your criteria in place to say, hey, I'm going to ride this back to retest that double top, or at least the EMA, and it does. It just pushes right on through. So looking back on it after the fact, it almost should be blue, but I'm going to leave it light green because at the time, in real time, I was a little leery of it. So I was afraid that we were going to push on down and get that bigger measured move like this big original leg over here. So I was a little nervous about that. And that's what you get for trying to second guess the market sometimes. You're wrong. So follow the price action. If you follow the price action, you go along there and you got another great trade up. Another textbook trade. Notice it gets a close outside, move to a new high, and it turns down. You actually had these matching highs, and it actually broke higher on my chart and turned and went out the other side. Not sure how yours did, but that would have been a great place to have your stop waiting on it, and just off to the races to the downside. And then look at this trend line coming down. You get a close outside, it tries to go lower once, it pushes right back through the EMA, it tries to go lower twice. There's your failed second entry short. I can't remember if this went lower and then went higher, or went higher and went lower. But once it went lower here and turned back up, I'd go long right there where you would have originally entered with a stop. And you can see it would have pulled back and filled you. And then I like adding on to this one because when it turns down again and touches that EMA, that's a double test rule of that EMA. And this really confirmed the trend line, and this was just another test of it. I like going, if you didn't go long here, definitely go long right here. And I like adding on if you already got a set here, put another set on right there and look at it go. Quick, easy move. There's plenty of room to get out. And that got us right into the 2 o'clock hour. So, and again, I would have been looking for that measured move once we started going higher. There's your first move, and then that's what you would have been looking. We didn't quite get there. We were close, but that got you into the 2 o'clock hour. And that was that. So really good trading day. Very simple. Like I said, everything was textbook for the most part. So I love these kind of days because they're so predictable. You just sell the highs and buy the lows. And really, notice that there's more red sales, but it was more of a downward bias, really. We traded down into this, so that gives it kind of a downward bias. And longs were a little more iffy until we got back up on the upper side. So, but a good trading day. And not a whole lot of trades again, but you didn't need it. You didn't need but a few. Several of these had some runners on them. So hope you had a good trading day. I hope you've had a good week. We'll be back again to do it. Start over next week on Monday. And but I'm out here for now. I'm gonna start my weekend midday tomorrow probably, and we'll be back again to do it on Monday. So this is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.